Okay. So I'm here with Alana and Alicia from King Street Bakery. We actually just wrapped up a project with them to kind of optimize their Klaviyo account. So just kind of want to have them on here today just to kind of talk through their experience and kind of the project that we just wrapped up. So Alana, Alicia, how are you today?
Good. And
So real quick, just quick introductions here. If you guys just want to kind of introduce the brand a little bit and then kind of your role within the brand.
I'm Milana. I am the head of marketing for Queen Street Bakery. Queen Street Bakery is a healthy bread company. So all of our products are made from seeds and beans and no wheat with added benefits like fiber, protein, omega-3s, and many more. So we make a variety of products from English muffins to bagels to breads, buns, etc. So that's our company. And I'm Alicia. I'm the community manager at Queen Street Bakery. So responsible for any communication. So all emails are primarily coming from me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on. Couple of things. So just want to kind of start with one, kind of where the business is at. I know you guys are mainly retail for the most part. And recently the online side of the business has been a bigger focus. If you could just talk about kind of the goals that you guys are moving towards on that side of the house, and then how kind of Klaviyo has kind of fit into that.
Yeah, of course. I'll get it started, Alicia, and then you can probably take over. But essentially, we were very much focused on retail for a really long time, and ecom was kind of like a secondary thing that we just had going and had it up, honestly, because of COVID, and we kind of just let it go. Didn't really focus on it too much in terms of optimizations or making it better. And then not until last year, I would say or this year, we started really like focusing on it again, improving our website, which obviously meant better customer experiences and communication. And obviously Klaviyo comes into that as well because we need to keep on top of our customers and communicating with them and just getting them not to forget our brand. Previous to that, Klaviyo was kind of just more information source, and we would just send something out maybe like once or twice a month. And now with ecom being around and us focusing more on ecom and putting in more resources and money towards it to try and grow it, Klaviyo has become extremely important, especially for getting new customers and also just keeping the customers coming back and finishing their purchases or finding out about new products, etc. Yeah, so Andrew and his team has been really helpful for us in terms of just getting that up and running because we just had like the bare minimum basics and we didn't know what we were missing out on until Andrew and his team came up and helped us with that. I'll let Alicia add more details to that. Definitely agree with everything that Alana just said. It wasn't necessarily a huge priority for us, and we kind of didn't really know how to take it to the next level. So Andrew and his team really came in and helped show us, like Alana said, what we were missing and what could be possible with the setup that we have. Just making improvements there. So it's definitely changed a lot since working with Petty Ecom. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of leads right into the next thing I want to talk about. So yeah, a lot of brands, when they come to us, we do an audit for them, which I want to get into here in a second, but they don't really realize the potential that's in their Klaviyo account. They kind of see it as just like one of the more boring channels that they have across their landscape there on the e-com side. And then when you really kind of highlight why it's so important, how brands are really capitalizing on it, it's pretty eye-opening. Glad to hear that that was kind of a similar experience that you all had there. So with that, on the audit, one, I think that was the first thing we started. We had a quick little intro call, and then we did the audit, just kind of breaking down everything in the account. So what did you guys all feel that you got out of the audit? And how did kind of that perception of Klaviyo, what you guys are using it for versus kind of maybe the opportunity that might be there? How did that kind of...
We had like certain things already going. We didn't know how to make it better, essentially, how to actually have it come back to us with actual results. So for example, one of the biggest things I think was that pop-up that we have at the beginning of our page that just asks for your email for like a discount in return. We had one before, we got rid of it, then it was just emails for more information. Obviously, it wasn't really generating anything. And then I think as soon as we switched that, we made that like tiny little change from the audit was the first thing I think we talked about. I think we saw in 3 days, like, I don't know, time we got like, first of all, obviously the very good return, but also just like a lot more emails than we ever expected we could get. And that was just in 3 days after implementing those changes. So throughout the audit, I think there's a lot of little things like that we were like, oh, right, we do have that, but it's wrong or it's not fully optimized, not fully like developed. So, and also just understanding where we're at because obviously Alicia and I have been doing this for like the last few years, and we're like, okay, we think we're like in a good space, but after the audit, we realized like we're not at all like using up the potential of Klaviyo in any way, and like we're missing out on so much. So that audit was really helpful to guide us, to show us where we're at and where we can be, which is really helpful, and also just like, yeah, painting like a clear path of what we should be doing. Alicia, do you have any?
I think the audit was like super transparent and helpful, and you gave us tips that like we could have just taken off and ran with ourselves, but seeing like what your ideas were, it was just kind of a no-brainer that after the audit that there's so much potential here for us, and we had needed that extra help to just start to get things set up at the very basics, and now we can kind of run with that as well.
Good. Love to hear that. That's something that we see a ton of, where brands, there's a lot of components within a Klaviyo account that you don't really think of. You just think if you're sending campaigns on a decent clip, then you're going to be doing okay. But it's a retention system. The sign up form leads to the flows, and the flows leads to the campaigns, and the campaigns feed the flows again, and it all kind of works together. So being able to break it down from that standpoint, and like what components maybe not pulling their weight as much, which ones are doing well, which ones could be boosted. You kind of see how it all comes together, and how that the any kind of revenue promises that we can make from the audit, and how that could be realistic for sure. So awesome to hear that. From there, we kind of decided like one big goal moving forward was the floor of the account was really well. So months that you guys were running sales or any promos, you guys would do pretty decent on any of those through your campaigns that you were sending out. But on the months where you maybe weren't running any promos or any discounts, then the Klaviyo performance was much lower. So that was one thing that we really thought we could identify and bring out that floor. So we went right into that. We did a one-time project where we'll do build out workflows and then your sign up form. And from there, just kind of want to talk through that process. I think it took about 45 days to get everything set up from start to finish. Starting, I guess, with the onboarding process. That was kind of the first thing we did. We had a call with you where we broke down everything of the brand, your brand voice, kind of where you guys see yourself positioned in the market. But did you feel that that process kind of got you up to speed and were comfortable where everything was going?
Yeah, I think like with the onboarding, definitely, I like the questionnaire was really helpful for us to just lay everything out. And then I think you guys did pretty much hit the nail on the head. Like I think our only comments were like, oh, instead of spelling out street, use the ST instead. Just like little things like that. It was nothing crazy. So I don't think we did many changes. Alicia, I know you were more within that process for setup.
For sure, I would say that you guys like really understood our brand and voice and how to represent that visually, especially as we are currently kind of going through a bit of like a change and transformation in that as well. I feel like you really understood super easily after we completed that survey that you shared, and then like we had a meeting to kind of break down the details a little bit more, but it was super, I would say, like low effort on our end to get you guys like understanding everything right away. And yeah, very few changes, just like slight things that we forgot to mention, like which products to focus on or something like that. So yeah, super simple.
Yeah, it becomes super important. Without that, like the copy and the designs, we want to make sure that they're on brand as possible. So being able to hear it from your voice, giving us as much detail as you did about things that we should mention in it, things that we should stay away from in it, common phrases that you all like, it goes such a long way for our team.
Yeah. In terms of kind of like the next steps that we did there, like the implementation was done like super seamlessly, and we saw results from those right away, especially since the projects, as you mentioned, that we were working on were flows. It was like super, super quick and saw immediate results there that will last us, obviously, kind of be those evergreen assets.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, last question here, looking ahead for you all. So if you were talking to another brand owner who's kind of on the fence about one, Klaviyo, why it's such an important channel for them, and then two, working with us specifically, what would you be able to share with them?
Obviously, look for any other marketing person out there. Like you have so many hats and so many buckets to worry about. Klaviyo, like you said, seems like, oh, it's this really easy, small thing that, is boring and whatever. You send out emails, it is what it is. You're missing out. Hire Petty, you come to just like look into it, at least do the audit, and you'll see what you're missing, because you don't have time to think about it, but these people know exactly what they're looking into, and you could be missing out on so much more potential, so much more revenue and performance as well, for your e-com site or just for your business. So definitely take advantage. And also another thing too, what I want to mention, obviously our lives are so busy and there's so much going on, other things to worry and think about. Put this onto Petty Ecom in the way that you guys, also what I really appreciate, the way that you guys organized everything and the way you set it up. It was really easy for us, and kind of especially for the implementation part, like we didn't really have to think too much about it. It was very simplified. You don't have to be an expert to understand how this works. For example, like ads, whoever has to deal with meta ads, you understand, you have to like basically take a course to understand what the conversation's about. Like this is so much more simpler, and I really appreciate that I didn't require for like extra brain power to understand what's going on. So yeah, and then I love seeing the results, and you guys handling everything was really simple. Even like when you provide the campaigns for us just to pull from Figma and put on was really simple. So also like minimal brain power in that case, which I really appreciated. It also felt like I can just trust you with it, and you gave me the steps and we just did it. So, and then, we see the results because of that. So that's kind of my advice for any other brand owner or any other head of marketing that has to deal with all of these kinds of things, and just trust the team. They're really great. They know what they're doing and they'll bring you results. So yeah.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. Incredible to hear. So I want to thank you all for being a super easy to work with client. You guys have been awesome. You provided everything we needed, super timely on any approvals or anything we needed. So that just makes our lives easier over here as well. Just wrapping up here really quick. Anything about Queen Street that you would like to tell anyone of what's coming down the pike for you all, or anything that's coming next?
Yeah, of course, so many exciting things. We're growing within the US. We're on all major grocery stores. Specifically, Whole Foods is our biggest one across the states. We're in the frozen section because we have no preservatives, so go check us out there. We just recently launched in Sprouts as well, which is really exciting. That's where you can find us. We're in the refrigerated section there. So really exciting stuff, new products coming out as well, like our sourdough or English muffins. So come check us out.
I've had them. They're good. They're really good bagels. So appreciate you guys coming on today. Really appreciate the kind words. And I hope we continue this relationship and can get something else working down the pipeline here. Would be great.
Yes, of course.
Awesome.
Thank you.